family, and peace to all, peace to the community, to the Amani family. Surprise! I know it's been a minute since we've done one of these Sunday shadow sessions, and I know this isn't our typical format, but I honestly didn't have it in me to do a full live stream, to be honest. But I did want to navigate some of the shadows with you all and to illuminate as many of them as possible, while also, honoring myself and um, not sacrificing myself for my own energy just to do things as we typically do them or as they're expected to be done or anything like that. So I figured this was a happy medium and something I definitely had enough space and room for and a desire for. So here we are, and I'm excited for today. We are still gonna get started with a bit of a presence practice before we just get into everything. So go ahead and get into a position. Oh, I'm sorry if this is your first introduction to Amani and to me. I'm Mark. Hey, it's your boy, aka War Peace Rock, aka 5D Just Too Easy, aka KK if you know some. But yeah, at the beginning of all these sessions, whether it be Sunday showers or Monday magic, we get going with our presence practice, which is really just to create room in our cup and allow us to really have space for all the energies that we're going to be working with. Today, it's going to be a bit of a, maybe not even a bit of a short one, but it's going to be a little different. Our main focus is going to be grounding, which is essentially just to get us connected to the earth as well as connected to spirit, and allow us to be the middle ground that we are, and to give us some backup, not so we're not just relying on our own energy, which may be depleted, which may have a bunch of stuff in our energy field, that doesn't set us up in the best position to work with these energies, but to really connect to the sources of it all and to really lean on them a bit while also allowing ourselves to be the conduit that we are. And yeah, really just to embody the truth of who we are. And the truth is that we are where the physical, where earth meets spiritual, and we are that in between. So the exercise we're going to do right now is just really to connect to that truth and to really embody it. So go ahead and get in position, whether that be seated, laying down, whatever feels right to you. And yeah, when you're ready, just go ahead and lovingly and slowly close your eyes. First things first, we're going to take one deep breath all the way to the belly. Inhale as much air as you can hold comfortably. Hold. Inhale through your nose, hold. And then we're going to do a slow exhale out the mouth. We're not even going to push the air out. We're just going to let it flow out. Like letting air out of a balloon. Let it take as long as it takes. The slower, the better. So, inhale. Exhale. Good job. From here, we're going to do a bit of a visualization. And if visualizing is in your strong suit, just sense into it as best as you can, whether that be through thought, through just the feeling of the energy, through, hey, what it smells like, tastes like, whatever is your strong suit when it comes to energy and sensing energy, do that. And I don't know, my ear, if I feel a little, I don't even know the word for it, but pardon me if I sound weird or if I'm doing a bunch of sniffling, trying to, yeah. But that being said, go ahead and visualize your body, you sitting exactly where you are, laying down exactly where you are, as best you can. And from here, you're gonna let energetic roots extend out from your body slowly and more as it feels right. You're just going to allow those roots to extend far from your body and to go down into the earth, down through the surface you're on, through the floor. If you're not on the first floor, hey, go floor by floor all the way until you get to the ground. And then you're going to keep going all the way until you get to the center of the earth. Just keep slowly but surely extending further and further. And when you reach the center, allow the roots to connect to that center of the earth. Once you connect, go ahead and give them an energetic tug just to make sure your connection is secure. And once that connection is secure, allow your awareness to come back to your body. We're going to do the same thing to connect to the heavens, to the cosmos, whatever resonates with you. But this way, we're going to allow it to be a light. For me, it's like a golden light. For you, it may be a white light, maybe a purple light, whatever feels right to you, whatever resonates. But you're going to allow it to extend out from the top of your head and allow it to just keep going up and up and up, slowly but surely, until you reach the heavens or the cosmos. If they're not already, allow your palms to be up to put yourself in receiving mode. And once you've reached there, you've got a nice connection there as well, go ahead and bring your attention back to your body. And we're going to take a few more deep breaths. On the inhale, you're going to be pulling energy from the cosmos as well as from the earth to up and down, respectively, into your body and into your energetic field, and allow it to fill you. And on the exhale, you're gonna send the energy back down and up, respectively. Whatever energy doesn't serve you, whatever energy you want to be neutralized and cleansed, whatever energy doesn't serve your highest good and where you're going, we're just going to go ahead and allow that to return to source, return to the earth, return to spirit, and allow it to be transmuted on your behalf. And then we're going to keep that cycle going. It's going to be an energetic exchange, a give and take, respectively, as we continue to take the deep breaths. So that being said, inhale. Exhale. Again, remember this is an energy exchange. Anything that you need to release, any energy that doesn't serve you, allow it to be sent up and sent down. And allow yourself to be filled with source energy, which is truly neutral It can be used to do whatever you need to do with it. Allow yourself to be the middle ground where these things meet, because you are. Inhale. Exhale. Gonna do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Great job. Right now, you should feel like you have exactly the energy you need. If you feel like you're overcharged or you feel a little buzzy, go ahead and take another deep breath and allow yourself to exhale very, very slowly and return any excess energy back to the earth, to spirit. And you can do that until you feel like you're neutralized, until you feel like you have exactly what you need, no more, no less. I'm going to sit here in stillness for a little bit. Go ahead and assess how you feel, how the energy in your body feels, especially versus how you felt at the beginning of this practice. And when you're ready, go ahead and express some gratitude to the earth and to the heavens, to spirit, 3 times, whether it be energetically out loud or just in your mind through thought, whatever feels right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And when you're done, go ahead and pull back your light beam from the heavens, slowly but surely, till it's all the way back to your body and the top of your head. Then you're going to go ahead and disconnect your roots from the earth and pull those back to your body the same way. Slowly but surely, allowing it to take as long as it needs to. When you're done, go ahead and slowly bring some movement back into your body. Allow yourself to return to the space you're in. When you're ready, go ahead and slowly and lovingly open up your eyes. That was great. Whew. And that being said, let's get into it. We're going to start with our shadow work deck. First things first, we're going to pull out an identify card, get like a general idea of what we may be working with or navigating today. If you don't already, get a pencil and some paper, or a pen and some paper, something to write on. because these cards have questions on them, so we're gonna spend a little time answering the question. And hey, if you don't want to, you can always just contemplate it a little bit, and that's fine too. Definitely whatever feels right and whatever works for you. But let's see. What inner voice do you try to silence is our question. What inner voice do you try to silence? And also on the bottom, this feels significant, so I'm not going to write this one, but you may want to contemplate yourself, maybe significant. What makes you feel unsafe or vulnerable? A little bit of subconscious energy there at the bottom. What makes you feel unsafe or vulnerable? So I'm going to answer what inner voice do I try to silence. But hey, answer both if you want to, whatever feels right to you. There's definitely no limits. But I'm going to answer this, and when I'm done, I'm going to share, and then we can get into our reading. But if you're not done at the time I'm done, feel free to take as long as you need to. I'll be here waiting for you. ready to share. If you're still writing, do your thing, especially if you were answering both questions. And yeah, when you can continue on when you're ready. But what inner voice do you try to silence? I wrote, I try to silence the inner voice that's self-critical, the voice that tells me what I'm doing isn't enough. It didn't start as my own voice. It was the voice of others that I eventually internalized, and it became my own and a part of my programming. Some days are easier than others, but it's definitely a part of me that I continue to make the conscious effort to shed. That's very important to me because I feel like even identifying as a recovering perfectionist as I do, I know that I was born, that's only born of the fact that I spent a lot of time growing up and like, especially navigating school and things like that, where it truly felt like nothing I did was enough. Like, one example is just with my mom. I feel like I spent a lot of my childhood, not even I feel like I spent a lot of my childhood, and even like teenage years and things like that, trying to essentially get her approval and make her proud and feel like I made her proud, you know? I feel like no matter what I did, even at the points where I was happy with myself, like I tell this story all the time and I've talked about it in my music, but I remember points where I literally got a report card where I had like 7 A's and then 1 B, and I came home so proud to tell my mom that. And I don't know, like I came and I was like, all right, like, this is the one. This is after a life of like continuing trying and trying and trying. Because even in elementary school, I always got good grades, but I'd get in trouble for talking, or I'd get in trouble for not behaving, for behavioral stuff or things like that. And it was just kind of always like, damn, like there's just always something to improve, always not enough. Like, as even if the grades are all A's, it's like, yeah, but you're talking too much, or yeah, but your teacher keeps calling me, or, you know, I spent a lot of time grounded and the whole nine. But I remember in high school, it's like I felt like, okay, this was it. Like I got 7 A's and a B, because after elementary school, I was not getting straight A's anymore. It was kind of like there would be C's, there would be B's and things like that. But it was like this one report card, I got 7 A's and 1 B, and I was excited and I showed her. And then, yeah, her response, she wasn't that amused at all. It was kind of just like, yeah, okay, but what about this B? And yeah, that one hurt. That one definitely hurt a lot. And it was just like, damn, like I thought I had it, but still. And through that became internalizing, like, you know, this continued chase. And it's like, yeah, my own satisfaction isn't enough. At the point, it can be better, you know? It's like, so at that point, I find myself being a perfectionist and not being satisfied with good enough, or not satisfied with it just being good enough to me. Because like, it's like, no, that's not enough. Now it's like, you know, I make the conscious decision to know that that's not the case, and that, like, you know, as long as I'm proud of myself, as long as it's good enough for me, that has to be enough for me. And that's something I accepted after a while. It was kind of just like, okay, like that approval and that making her proud moment may never come. And it's like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life chasing that. And I decided that. I'm pretty late in the game, honestly, to me at least. But I did eventually make that decision. And so, yeah, that voice still is there to this day at times, where it's just kind of like, yeah, this is really good, but for my music, for example, it's like, this is really good, but there's still that one thing that doesn't sound quite right, or there's still like, it's really good, but it doesn't sound as polished as this radio hit that was mixed and mastered by someone with 20 years experience. And, you know, it's like this ever changing standard that can never truly be met. So it's like I still find myself having to like reel myself in, like, okay, but that's not the bar, you know? How do you feel about it? And the more times than not, it's like, yo, this is the best thing I've ever done. It's like at the point where I'm my own competition, this is amazing, you know? So it's like really continuing to allow myself to be my standard and allow progression to be the bar, you know? Better every day, whether that be 5%, whether it be 0.1% better. But as long as I'm better than what I was yesterday, that's a win, and that's enough for me, and allowing that to be the case. So yeah, that critical voice and that voice of perfection and like, oh yeah, that's good, but is a voice I definitely continue to try to silence. And hey, every day is better, and that's the bar. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that question. And yeah, I'm definitely curious to know what you know, your own inner voice, or what voice you're working to silence, and not even trying, but that you are silencing. Sounds like. And I don't know, I kind of want to answer this other question: what makes you feel unsafe or vulnerable? I feel like one thing that makes me feel unsafe and vulnerable is when I feel like I'm putting my heart out there, because I don't know, like I identify as a Scorpio rising, you know, like I can be very closed off, I can be very mysterious, I can be very dark, and be okay with that, you know, and not really share too much, and, you know, be, you know, like you really don't know me, you're not able to get a read on me and all that. I can definitely pull all my energy in and really be that. But, you know, in that, you know, you also don't get to connect with people. You also don't get to experience the true depths of love and connection that are there to experience. Like, yes, you can protect yourself that way, but you won't feel the hurt, the pain, and all that, but you also won't feel the love to its utmost. And I find myself feeling unsafe or vulnerable when I am putting it all out there and I'm leading with my heart. But it feels like if it's a person on the other end, it feels like they're not doing the same thing, you know, like when it's like I can tell something's wrong and I'm trying to, like, you know, be there and, you know, hold space for them, and they're kind of like, oh no, nothing's wrong, or they kind of just shut me out. And it's kind of like, damn, like I feel unsafe and vulnerable because, like, damn, I'm not doing that. I'm, you know, showing up and putting it all out there, even though it doesn't feel safe. It feels vulnerable, you know, to be like, put all my cards out there and be like, oh, and this is how I'm feeling and all that. And to be met with somebody who's not doing that same thing, it feels like, oh, it sends me into feeling like, damn, like, should I pull my energy back? Should I go back into my shell? Should I get my, you know, my stinger ready? You know, should I turn and, you know, have it ready to kind of, you know, keep them away and to push them away and to fall into self-sabotaging, like, energies. But it's like I don't want to do that, so I continue to allow myself to be open. And I decided a long time ago that I'm just going to be open as possible. Like, what you see is what you get with me. It's like, even though I can very much well be impossible to read, not even hard to read, impossible to read, and I can really sit there and do that and pull all my energy back, it's like I don't want to do that. So I really feel unsafe and vulnerable when it feels like, you know, someone else is doing that very thing that I decided I'm not doing anymore. And it's like, wow. So it's like they can see all of me, but it's like I'm unable to see all of them, and that feels very unbalanced. And it feels like, you know, that can lead to heartbreak, that can lead to all types of stuff. And I definitely, that's one thing that definitely makes me feel unsafe or vulnerable. But yeah, so that's my answer to that question. Even though I didn't write about it, I definitely want to acknowledge it, especially if you acknowledged it. I definitely want to meet you where you are. And that same thing, you know, if you're putting your all out there, I want to make sure to meet you where you are, because that's what I'm all about, you know. So that being said, good job on the first half of today's shadow work. I'm definitely going to pull one of the cards from the identified, or the integrate. That was identify. I'm going to pull an integration card at the end to close the energy. So yeah, that being said, I'm going to put these away. Great job. And I'm going to pull out Tarot Restless, which is our Sunday Shadows shadow work deck, or our shadow work tarot deck. And it's been a while, man. It's been like, I want to say like 4 weeks, 4 weeks since the last Sunday Shadows, and I have not pulled any of these cards since then. So yeah, they feel very energetic in my hand, and they're as ready for us as we are for them. So without further ado, let's get into our reading. I don't expect this to be very long, and I don't expect us to pull a bunch of cards. I'll follow the energy wherever it takes us, but hey, it might be quick, it might be long, who knows. As behaved as they're being right now, they definitely feel very, very charged. Like in my hand, I feel it in my body, all that. First out, we got 10 of Wands. I'm really being drawn to her fingers and the blood dripping from her fingers. And even her face, like, for someone who's bleeding like that, she doesn't look scared. She doesn't look like she's in pain. She honestly just looks tired to me. I'm like done, like she doesn't have any fight left. And it's like, yo, do as you must, you know, like I don't have anything else to give but just my authenticity, just me being here at this point. It's like, I have nothing to hide. I don't have any games to play. And it being a 10 feels like that same culmination energy. It's like that point where it's just like surrender. It's like you just put your hands up and it's like, yo, do what you're gonna do. Like, this is all I got left. If that's enough, so be it. If it's not, so be it. You know, like, make whatever decision you're gonna make, and I'll continue on from here. So that may be a way that you're feeling. You might be in a dynamic where it's like, I'm tired of the games. I'm tired of, playing chess and trying to be strategic. It's like, yo, this is what I got, and I'm willing to bleed and let you see me bleeding and all that. But that's it. Like, I don't have anything else to, I don't have any more masks to put on or anything like that. And on the bottom is the degenerate, which in traditional tarot would be the devil card. And it just feels like, it just feels like someone not being willing to be that devil in their life anymore, the one, because it's easy to make yourself feel like there's people making you wear a mask, or these dynamics are forcing you to put mask on, or you have to show up inauthentically for these things. But it's like, at the end of the day, you don't. And it's like, maybe showing up authentically will cause these things to end and to fall away. But if that's the case, that's a grade A indicator that these things aren't for you. And it's in your best interest to show up authentically and allow these things to fall away, and not to continue to wear the mask and continue to be that devil in your life, and to continue to make you into this ugly thing that you're not, And it's like, the best thing you can do is to really just surrender and be like, yo, this is all I got. This is all I'm willing to have. And the only way I'm willing to show up is in my authenticity. And if that's enough for you, great, we can continue. And if it's not enough for you, you can leave and you can do whatever is authentic for you. And that's very empowering. And in that, this devil gets smaller, and you stop playing the role of the devil in your life. In that, you become truly free. And the things that fall away in that process will be replaced by things that are more you and that are alignment to you. So this just feels like that permission, and definitely a call from within the house to embrace that. And it's like, yo, where are you wearing masks right now? Where are you showing up authentically? And more specifically than that, where are you showing up inauthentically, where you feel like you have to? That's exactly where you need to show up authentically the most, and allow those things to either rise to the occasion and surprise you and show you that you can show up authentically, or allow those things to rise up and show you that, wow, I really can't show up authentically. And then from there, you can move around, you can move them out of your life, and you can really give yourself what you need from there. So that's a great reminder, and that feels very important for someone right now. And under that, besides that, I'm on the bottom, I'm seeing, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm going to say acquiescence. And in this deck, this is the story of the very last woman, because this deck tells the story of a fertility apocalypse and infertility apocalypse, meaning that they're not able to bear children anymore. So humanity, without being able to, bear kids and all that, humanity is doomed to be done and to come to an end. And this card is the very last card, and it tells the story of the very last woman dying, the moment right before she dies. And that's like, that's where it truly becomes irreversible, because up until that point, it's easy to remain hopeful, like, at some point something will reverse the curse, and from there you can go ahead and start having kids. But the point the very last woman dies, that shows that it's really done for. It's that really last moment of acceptance, like, wow, okay, this is really the end. And this just feels like it goes hand in hand with that last card, and it truly feels like that acceptance of like, okay, like, there's really nowhere further to go in this direction, as far as just wearing the mask and showing up inauthentically. It's like that very last moment where that last bit of energy of inauthenticity in you dies. And it's like that acceptance of like, okay, all that I can do left is show up authentically. It's like, that's where you are right now, especially if this resonates with you. And I'm being called to that void in the back. It's like nothing but darkness. It's like that moment before you really go into it and accept that, okay, where I am right now, this is the end, and what's next is scary, and what's next is unknown, because I haven't been showing up authentically. So I don't know what finally surrendering, showing up authentically leads to. And that reminds me of the back of the card, which is also a void. It's that same type of energy. It's like there's nowhere else to go. It's like either way you go from here is the void, And it's like that true moment of surrender and acceptance of like, I'm entering the void, and I don't know what that holds, but I trust myself to be able to navigate it however I need to. And under that, on the bottom, is the 9 of stars. And this just feels like forgiveness of self. And this also feels like it's kind of like that same type of environment, you know? It's like surrounded by all these things and all this energy, but also still being alone, you know? And it's like that last moment of surrender before it's like, you know what? It's all me, you know? Freeing yourself from the burdens. And if you've been here through Sunday Shadows before, you know the story of this card. And you know that all these pinnacles or stars hanging above him are put there by himself, and the crown of thorns he's wearing is also self-imposed. And it's like this card tells the story of self-forgiveness, but also self-punishment. And it's like you showing up inauthentically, you all the heavy burdens you put on yourself and the pressure you put on yourself is put on you by yourself. You know, maybe at one point somebody else was putting these things on you. And even like I was saying with my journal entry earlier, my answer to a question, it's like, yeah, at one point those were the voices of other people. That self-criticism came from outside the house, but to this day, it's my own voice now. It may not have been originally, but it is now, and it's on me to free myself from it. And it's like this is that same energy. It's like, yes, at some point maybe there was people putting all this stuff on you. Maybe there was people making you feel less than. There was people putting you down all the time. But it's like right now, those very things are now self-imposed. It's like now you're doing that to yourself. And it's like it's on you to free yourself. And you can at the very point that you surrender and you start showing up authentically, and you allow that to be enough. Like, you're not always going to be the best. You're not always going to be your best self. You're not always going to be perfect. Sometimes you may misstep, but it's like as long as you're showing up authentically and you're showing up in love and doing your best, that's all anyone can ever do. And that has to be enough for you, because if you're searching for validation from other people, or you're waiting for someone else to free you from these burdens that you're putting on yourself, trust that it's not going to happen. And at some point you're going to have to be enough for yourself, and you and your authenticity is going to have to be enough. And this just feels like that call, like that last step, it being 9, And it's like, it's that last step before completion where it's like, yo, the only way to the next step is to free yourself and to surrender. So that feels like a nice reminder, always. Yeah, this feels nice, and I'm honestly really glad that I held space for this today, and that I showed up, and that I didn't not show up because I felt like I had to do a whole live stream or, a 2-hour session or anything like that. But I just showed up with what I had and the willingness to do something. So that being said, we just had nine of stars, right? And I told you, like, this is the last step before 10. Boom, what comes out? 10 of stars. And it's like and this card tells a completely different story than that 9 of stars does. This tells the story of having everything you need, like being exactly who you need to be, while also being supported in that. You see those stars, now they're up in the sky. It's like you're supported by the very things that made this universe, the very things that keep everything afloat, the very energies that give life to everything, that animate this entire reality, and that animate your reality. And it's like, this is you at the very moment you forgive yourself, at the very moment that you accept yourself for who you are. Because in that process, you realize that you're everything, and that you're way more than enough, and that you're literal stardust, and you're as strong as you need to be. You have every tool you need. You see, he has a couple swords on his back. He has a dagger here. He has a few pouches. He has a jacket with a bunch of pockets. It's like he has everything he needs. He's also has a laurel wreath on his head. See, and then we were just looking at a crown of thorns. It's like he's a completely different person now. He's even stronger. He's bigger. And it's like all that. And there's just so much abundance present in this card. And it's like, that's you at the very point you allow yourself to be enough. And it's like, that's what's being offered to you right now. And it's like, yes, at one point, maybe other people were making you feel this way and that way, but it's like, now it's you. And you know too much now to allow your past to keep you in these spaces. And it's like, all you're being asked to do is release all these things and allow yourself to be enough, no matter what that looks like. Even on your worst day, in your angriest moment, your most unproud moment, you're enough. And you have to forgive yourself and continue to forgive yourself at every turn, at every opportunity, and understand that no one else can do it for you, and no one else is going to do it for you. This Knight of Wands, which is the next card from 10, but it's a different suit, but it feels like that same thing, that moment of surrender. That's how you see his legs are tied. It's like, yeah, you're being called to surrender even when it looks ugly, you know? Because, like, look, it feels like there's a beast holding him, he's tied up, but he's still not fighting, though. Even though this situation seems pretty grim, he surrendered. And it's like that moment of, like, I have nothing else to give. I have no desire to keep fighting my reality. I have no desire to keep fighting against all these forces. It's like, do what you must. Like that same thing with the 10, with the 10 of Wands earlier. It's like, do what you must. Like, I have no more fight. I have nothing else to give but just to show up as me. And if that means I have nothing else I have no fight left, so be it. Like, I'll surrender in that way as well. And it's like, that's all you're being asked to do. And it's in that moment that you become full, you gain access to your full strength, because your full strength is the strength of the universe. This purple also feels like divine connection. It's like at the very point you give up, not even give up, but at the very point you surrender, it's like you're like, I have nothing else to give. It's like you realize that you have everything to give because you're not separate from it all. It's like you feel so weak and depleted and drained because you're trying to use the energy in your vessel to fight all these things, to fight against the reality, when it's like you are a part of it all. At the point you surrender and allow yourself to just sink back into source, you realize it's all source. It's like you're fighting up against yourself, you're fighting up against your reality, you're fighting up against your world. It's like you're a part of that very thing, and your very world is created by the very source that created all of this. And it's like you're using your power to feel separate when the reality is that you're one with it all. It's like, this is you. You have everything you need. It's like, surrender however you need to surrender, even if it looks ugly, but allow yourself to surrender. And through that, you'll discover your connection to it all, and you'll refine your strength. And just like that, I split to the world. I split the deck just because I felt called to. And the world. And right under that is the sun. Is the sun and the star. Majors. It's like at the very point you surrender, it's all here. And look, we were just talking about an infertility apocalypse. Look at that. What is that? That's a pregnant woman, yo. It's like, even when all hope is lost, when you give up, when you surrender and you truly connect to who you are, you realize that the world doesn't operate on the rules you think it does, you know? Even when all hope is lost, it's like, through source. Source is what creates all the rules. Source is where it all comes from. So it doesn't matter how strict any of the rules are. Through source, anything is possible. And it's like, boom, through it all, you realize, like, wow, there's still hope. Even through surrender, even through giving up and truly, like, you know what, I don't have anything else to give. You got it. Like, through that, you realize, you return to source. You realize that you stop fighting up against your world. Stop fighting up against yourself, because you are an embodiment of it all. So as you fight your reality, you're just fighting yourself. You can't find peace through fighting against your world and your existence, because you're just fighting yourself. And if you don't know peace on the outside, you won't know peace on the inside. If you don't know peace on the inside, you won't know peace on the outside, because it's all the same. It's like, through that surrender, you get a second chance. You realize that, wow, like, there was always a hope. There was always a next step. There was always more. And as long as you're here, there will always be more. There will always be more miracles, more of a chance to keep going. It's like the sun, the star. It's like, it was never on you to do it all on your own. It was only on you to do what you could, to do your best, to show up and to honor yourself in any given moment, to show up authentically. And through that, through returning back to source and realizing, like, you know, the world's in my hand, not because I can force things to happen, not because I have the power to make all these things happen, but because I'm connected to it all. I'm an embodiment of the very things that run this whole thing. The sun, which is also a big star, you know? It's like, You have support everywhere. And you are that same support. You're not separate from it all. It's like, even though this figure's alone on this card, behind them is that sun, full and beautiful. And even though this ship is over here, it's like in the sky, there's that star. It's like you're supported by the things, the very things that run this whole thing. No matter what it looks like on the ground, no matter what it looks like as you're zoomed in and you're facing your reality. Like, look, this water is treacherous, but look how bright that star is. It's like they're alone. But look, in their hand, they also have what looks like a talisman, a necklace. It feels like the divine object. And it's like these things are on fire, but it's like behind them is the sun. It's like at the end of the day, you're connected to it all. Like, remember in the beginning of our practice, we connected to the earth, connected to the source, to spirit and all that. It's like we are the middle ground. It's like we're never disconnected from it. We can use our power to feel disconnected, but the reality of it is we're an embodiment of it. We're where these things meet. We're exactly where we need to be at any given turn. And the moment we allow ourselves to embody that and to feel it and surrender into it is when it all happens. And under that is Libra. It's the Libra card from this deck. And it feels like that's where you truly come into balance. It's like we have the physical here, and we also have spirit here. And it's like you are the middle ground, and you're holding these things together as well. It's like you allow these things to come to balance, and you know yourself to be an embodiment of both. As you are, everything comes into balance. And it may look ugly. You see, there's people hanging there, but it's like they're just a representative. They're a representation of the physical and spirit. It's like you're more than your physical body. No matter how weak you feel, no matter what state you feel like you are, you're more than just your physical body. You're more than your physical existence, period. And it's like, that's not the reality of you. This is the reality of you. You're where these things mean. You're what's holding it all together through you and through the way you show up. And it's all gives and takes together. There is no separation. Yeah, man. The message feels really conclusive. Like, I'm gonna shuffle and see if there's a couple more cards, but I honestly feel like that's the message, you know. And yeah, as I say that, back to the 9 of stars. And you know how we do. Once those repeats come, and look, I see, and that's why I need to just trust myself. Because look, on the card that popped out was this one, and on the bottom was this. As I looked to see if there was something on the bottom, we're back to the cards that have already come out. It's like, I'm going to honor that, and I'm going to allow it to lie here and rest here. But that's the truth. And it's like, remember, surrender, man. This is the end of a past way of being, of feeling like it's all on you to make these things happen and being hard on yourself. And it's like, this is the end. Surrender and know that the world is yours at the very point you do. And that last bit of hope that you've been looking for comes at the end of surrender. You know, as long as you're trying to avoid the surrender and try to find reasons to not surrender, you're not going to get that world. You're not going to get the world. You're not going to get that pregnancy and in the infertility apocalypse, you know, that only comes after the surrender. Once you're like, I don't have anything else to give. All I have is me. And I'm just going to continue to show up as me. Show up authentically no matter what that looks like, and that's enough for me. And in that, boom, that pregnancy happens, and that leads you to rebuilding, and from there you can rebuild your world through authenticity. But as long as you're trying to get that rebuild moment, you're trying to get from point A to point D without going through B and C, which is the surrender, which is the looking in the mirror, which is the, you know what, I don't have anything else to give other than me. Without that, you're not going to be able to get to D. It's like, forgive yourself and allow yourself to be enough. And surrender into that and what that looks like in any given moment. And I promise you, through that, you'll get everything else that you need. But yeah, we also got the moon. I'll let this be the last card. And this just feels like, and look, actually, I'll let these two be the last cards. And I'm gonna put them back in the box, so I'm not tempted to continue looking. But oh, wow. What the heck? These two cards, and this card was under it. And Ace of Wands, it snuck in there. As I said, I was going to do these two cards. And this just feels like that opportunity from here. It's like, here, now you can light your way. It's like there's a moment there's an opportunity for action, for creation. It's like that comes through surrender and really owning who you are and allowing authenticity to guide your steps. It's like through that is everything else. Is creation, creating your world as you see fit, getting to everything that you've been trying to get to, but not being willing to surrender in order to do so. Everywhere you're going does not take you sacrificing yourself. Everywhere you're going, everything you want from yourself takes you. The very things you're called to do takes you being exactly who you feel called to be. As long as you continue to self-sacrifice and show up inauthentically, you'll never get to the authentic path. That middle path that you need to be on to get to everywhere you're going takes surrender, and it takes you showing up as yourself. It's like you are the key to the door. And it's like, as long as you're trying to be somebody else, as long as you're trying to show up as somebody else, or even as a version of yourself that's not truly you, you're not the right key. Because the right key that opens the door to everything you want is in your authenticity, and it is that deep. So it's like, until you really truly surrender and show up as yourself and allow yourself to be enough in any dynamic you engage in and in every space you engage in, you'll never be able to get that door open. So this feels like another opportunity to embrace that and to really navigate everything we just discussed, and to allow yourself to be enough. And from there, take your wand, and it's now lit, and navigate through the void, through the darkness, and trust that as you do, you'll reach everywhere you're going. But you have to be you, and the real you, not the you that has a mask on, not the you feel like you have to be, like truly be you. But yeah, the All of Swords was one of the cards that I was going to end on. And look, it feels like there's a nice sunset over here, back to that sun energy. But it's like, look, they don't feel sunshiny. They feel tired. They feel like they need rest. And in this moment, it's like, you know what? They understand there will be more sunshine. There will be more sunrises. And it's like, when I feel like that, I'll be that. But right now, I just feel tired. And I don't have any, I'm tired of showing up inauthentically. I'm tired of trying to show up sunshiny and smiley when I don't feel that way. And it's like, I'm just going to rest here, and I'll catch the next sunrise when I feel more aligned to it. And that's so beautiful. That's so freeing. And in that moment, you actually get to rest. You actually get to recharge. You actually get to realize that you're enough, and you never had to show up as anything other than who you are. And that sunrise comes back around. You can catch it. It will never stop rising. The sun always comes up and always goes down. That sunrise and sunset will be just as beautiful as it was whenever it's time for you to catch it. And I'm also being drawn to this bird sitting on the sword. And it's like, it's in your authenticity that you're most magnetic. It's like, look, that bird is curious about you. That bird is drawn right into you because you're being real. You're being in your true nature. You're not operating against the laws of the universe. You're not operating in a fashion that's not aligned to the flow of nature. So nature will celebrate you in that. You'll draw in the very things you need by being in that universal flow. And it's like, we've been led to believe that we have to be all light and love and light in order to get everything we need. It's like, that's not the truth. We just need to be authentic, because who you are is universal flow. And as long as you're showing up authentic, you are in the universal flow of things, and you are exactly how you need to be, because you are exactly who you need to be always. So if you feel sad, you don't need to show up happy. You feel sad, so show up sad, and trust that that's in the universal flow of things, and that you being sad leads to the next space in which you'll feel this next thing, or you'll interact with this person who also needed to interact with you at your sadness, and and that you're perfect, because like, your sadness can help, your anger can help others, as long as you own it and channel it and express it in ways that are conducive and that work for you, that don't harm you. You can be angry and go make an angry painting. You can go create angrily. That doesn't mean go lash out on people. Like, that's not what we need. But it's like, it's all energy, and it can be expressed in ways that are helpful to you and that help others, because other people feel angry, other people feel sad, other people feel all these things. And it's like, all you need to do is own it and show up authentically in it and allow it to serve you, because it can. And in that space of you just being authentic, you are attractive, and you're attracted in everything that you need by just being authentic. And the moon just feels like trusting your darkness, man. You don't always have to be all light. The sun goes down. The sun doesn't just stay up all day. there's a cycle, you know. So it's like when you feel like darkness, be that darkness. Be the best darkness you can be, you know, and allow it to serve you and allow it to serve your world and your reality. And all these energies can be created with, and they are to be created with. So I hope you understand and you really feel the grandness of the energy that is here. There were so many majors here, as far as just the major arcana cards, as far as not the ones that are suit cards, but the sun, the moon, the star. Those cards were very, very present and very, very loud. And even the ones that weren't major, the minor cards were loud too. We got high numbers, like we got the 9, we got 10s. It's like there's a lot of big energies here and a lot of big things playing out right now. And I see why I was called here today, and I see why it made sense to come here today and to share this message, because it feels very resonant to me, and I'm sure it feels resonant to you as you're sitting here watching, especially if you reached it to this point. So I'm grateful. And I know I said I was gonna be done, but I look down, I see King of Cups, and this feels like that same, like, you know, understanding of, hey, I have nothing else to give. My cup is empty, and owning that, you know, not pretending like you have anything in your cup, or not, you know, but really just owning and be like, you know what, I don't have anything else to give. This is all I got. I just got me. And it's like, you know, if that's enough, great. If it's not, so be it. But I'm not gonna show up inauthentically anymore. This is all I got. It just feels like that same thing. And then under that is Thrall of Cups, and you see like his face is being split open. It feels like the mask coming out. And look, the moon is present in this card too. And it's like yeah, it's coming out and spilling onto his hands, and it's like that same blood imagery of just like, this is all I got. It's like the mask is coming away. It's like, this is who I am. It's like, it may be ugly, it may not be who you want, it may not be conducive to, you know, keeping people comfortable, but I have to be comfortable. I have to be okay with who I am. So I'm just gonna show up as me. It's like, look, they're deep in the water, all rising up to their knees, and it's like surrounded by darkness, their darkness. And it just feels like that same surrender, and just all I got is me. So I'm gonna put these away. One more time. We got Gemini, and this feels significant. You may be a Gemini, or hey, you might be, I'm seeing like the happy mask and the sad mask. It's like you may be sitting there wearing masks, or you may be sitting there bouncing between authenticity and inauthenticity. And it's like you're being asked to be the middle path. It's like you're not being asked to be happy all the time, and you definitely don't need to be sad all the time, but you just need to be exactly who you are at any given time. And that's how you show up perfectly, and that's how you are being called to show up in your world. So that being said, that was amazing. I'm really grateful for today's session. And I'm excited to see what the Integrate card has in store. I'm not sure if I'm going to write it. We'll see when it comes out. I may just answer it out loud and then close out the session and allow us to go about our Sunday, and to allow the integration to continue from here. But yeah, that being said, I love you so much, and this was amazing. Thank you for being here. And the question is, what soothes you when you're upset? And as I went to put these cards away, this card flew out and flipped. And it's funny because this is the same card. I'm pretty sure this is the same card that came out on Monday Magic. But it says, what qualities do you see in others that also reflect qualities in you? So definitely consider that. Or hey, it might just be a call to go check out Monday Magic from, I think it was this past Monday Magic. Yeah. But what soothes you when you are upset? I'm going to answer this out loud. I'm not going to write it. But what soothes me when I'm upset is, and yeah, if you feel called to write it, definitely do so, you know, spend some time with it, especially if you're struggling, if nothing even comes to mind immediately and you need, it's like, that's a great indicator. Hey, spend some time in your inner world and come to that conclusion. But, and yeah, definitely the other one too, if this is your first time seeing this as far as in our space, then yeah, definitely spend some time with this one too. What qualities do you see in others that also reflect qualities in you? But what soothes you when you are upset? When I'm upset, what soothes me is just expressing, for sure. expressing the energy, allowing the energy to move, rather than just suppressing it and holding it in. And because my mind can get very active, and I feel like my energy is very, very profound and very, very charged. So it's like keeping it within. Like, even so, I'm not good at just suppressing it, because it bleeds out into everything. Like, I get passive aggressive, or it's all in my face and my looks. It's all in the energy. Like, you can feel it, because just as bright as I can get, it's just as dark as I can get. Like, I always talk about that Scorpio rising is very, very present. And that Scorpio energy, I know very, 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 very well. So, so yeah, when I'm upset, I do my best to let the energy move, especially now, because I know the power of my energy, and I know that at the end of the day, like, as much as it hurts other people, it hurts me too, and it pushes other people away, and it does the opposite of what I even want, because I want connection. I want to have I want others to be able to hold space for me. I want to be able to engage with other people and to share these things and not have to feel so alone. But when I don't express and when I fall into those habits, yeah, the video cut out. And it's interesting because it cut out at 1 hour, 1 minute and 11 seconds. So 1:01:11. And hey, that tells you right there, like 11:11 might be significant as well. But allow this to be the beginning, man. Just as much as this is an ending, allow it to be a beginning. And it is a beginning. All you have to do is allow it, and to show up as who you are, and truly allow yourself to show up as who you are, and continue to do so and never stop. But yeah, I lost my whole train of thought as far as what I was saying before. I should have watched it to kind of get refreshed on what I was saying. But I'll trust that that's I said everything I needed to say. But yeah, what soothes me when I'm upset, I just try to express myself as best as I can, whether that be to others or just, in my journals, or I try to address, to let the person, if it's a person, to let them into it, as well as to not just try to navigate on my own, because, I like to allow other people to rise to the occasion and meet me where I'm at, and to, to allow myself to be transparent, because like I said, like I'm very able to pull my energy back and to kind of just keep everybody at bay and to keep people in the dark. So I try not to do that, especially because, because it's easy to feel like, oh, I don't have, no one's here for me, or I don't have, but it's like, if you're honest with yourself, are you truly allowing other people to be? And if you can't say yes, then you should try that first before coming to the conclusion, the assumption that other people don't have your back. So I make it a point to do so, hey, I'm trying to be as transparent as I can and allow people to meet me where I'm at and to rise to the occasion. And if they can't, then okay, so be it. Then I can come to those conclusions. But I try to make it a point not to just go straight there and never actually give anyone the opportunity to be there for me. So when it comes to that, I try to express it to them. But at the very least, even if that doesn't work, my journals and expressing it in my creations or however I need to, just to move the energy. But that typically what soothes me when I'm upset, and that's probably all that soothes me when I'm upset, honestly, is expression and moving the energy and not just keeping it within. Because like I said, my energy is very powerful. When I'm angry, it can definitely be felt, and it's very a charged anger, it's not very subtle. So I do my best just to allow the energy to move and not let it just live in my body. So that being said, I love y'all so much. I'm gonna get out of here before I run out of space again. I didn't realize this had gone as long as it did. So yeah, I'm really glad and grateful for how today went and today's session. And hey, I don't know when the next one will be, the next Sunday Shadows, but this one was great, and I'll allow myself to be present. And yeah, it was amazing. So shout out to you. Thank you for being here. And I love you so much, and it's an honor to be able to navigate these spaces with you and to be here with you. But I'm Mark, and this has been Sunday Shadows, and I love you so much, and you're doing a great job, honestly. If you take nothing else away, take away the fact that you are perfect and that you are showing up perfectly, even if you feel like it's flawed, even if you feel like you could do better. Hey, you showing up exactly how you showing up now is what allows you to be better in the future. So in that, you're perfect. You're exactly who you need to be to get to that next point and to get